incident right now on the west side of town. That's why I came a little unkempt, and I'd like to get back on.
So, I'm sorry,
Yes, ma'am.
you said it's him and he's got his 3 children with him? and-
Yes, they're barricading the room. 3 babies.
It's a current situation.
Chief, y'all gotta go for me, that, I don't want.
Yeah. So if you guys are done with the chief, we're gonna let him go, and,
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
your you need to take your staff with you.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank y'all again, and I just wanna let y'all know that y'all have been supportive this entire time, and it means the world to me. So thank you. We'll see y'all.
Be safe.
Okay, all right, going on to item next, our public director, Hector, is on vacation, so we're gonna go over to Public Works. Mr. Rudy, you wanna give a report?
You have a picture for me about the monthly report? You know what, I'll go up there. We're kind of, we've got some folks that are out. If y'all have any questions about the monthly report, feel free. Right now, just wanted to let you know that we do have one water well that's out of, I think it's the East Plant. We haven't heard any complaints of any low water pressure, so we think we're okay, but we're trying to get a contractor out there to get the work done. I don't have anything else other than that. I know, again, if you have any questions about anything else, I think overall, knock on wood, the water system's been working okay. And so that's been our biggest, I guess, challenge, to make sure that the water keeps going. But yes.
Fred, which well is it that's giving us?
East Plant?
East
It's
Plant.
East Plant, yes, sir. So we currently, I think we've contacted a contractor to come and look and give us an assessment of what's going on with the well. That's all I have, unless there's any specific questions.
Council, you have any questions regarding utilities? All right, moving on to finance, we're gonna ask, Mr. Lund. Yeah.
No.
Okay, Alex, okay, sorry. He pointed your direction, sorry, like over and down. You can wing that, can't you?
Good evening, council, mayor.
Welcome, glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm filling in for Ms. Monica. She is out today. I am just gonna read what she gave me for the finance report. As of June 30th, 2024, the city has completed 75% of the fiscal year. This far, the general fund expenditures exceeded revenues, $219,164 at Valley Room. Revenue year to date is about 94% of the budget. Sales tax revenue year to date is about 64% of the budget. Utility fund revenues exceeded expenditures in the amount of $247,292. The revenue includes water, sewer, and natural gas sales. The total sales revenue year to date is about 93% of the budget. Expenditures in both funds are in line with the period. General fund expenditures were 71.41% of the budget, and the utility fund expenditures were about 62.24% of the budget. This indicates that the city staff is aware of staying within the fiscal year 2024 budget that was approved by council.
And council, you have some reports here that kind of show where we are. One of the questions I have, Fred, is what is your thoughts on the sales tax revenue? Are we on track, you think?
Yeah, we should hit our mark. We budgeted $2.8 million for sales tax. I think we'll be really close to that. We had a really good month. This is actually one of the best months ever recorded on sales tax this month. It was a revenue, I believe $360,000 of sales tax came in this month. So we're anticipating another pretty good collection for next month, and then we will see where we end off. But we anticipate coming really close to $2.8 million. Yes, sir.
Any other expenses that look out of line at this point?
With the exception of the clarifier, everything else, we're seeing that we're doing okay, at least for this fiscal year. Yes, sir.
And just so the council knows, the clarifier, as you know, we're going to repair that out of pocket. We're running about 1.2.
It's a $1.2 million project that we pulled out of cash. from our reserves, and so that's part of that is funded this year, and then we should finish the project and it should be fully installed, next fiscal year, the early part of the next fiscal year, which is, I wanna say we'll owe about $400,000 next fiscal year on that same project. We'll have already put in about $800,000 this year, by the time of the end of this fiscal year.
And construction gonna start?
Construction should start the early part of the fiscal year, like October. So the installation shouldn't take long at all, it's the fabrication that's taking this time.
Council, do you have any other questions regarding the financial status of the city? Thank you.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay, moving on to community developments, Assistant City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I'm going to make this really brief because most of my reports come off the internet and then we weren't able to print them, so I'm using my phone here. Starting with community development, you have your report, so I'm just going to go real briefly. We have the Pizza Hut, Lindsay Lane, the Refuel Market. Those are all development projects. They're all on schedule. Tonight you'll have the last of the plats, which will be for Lindsay Lane. Lindsay Lane and Refuel, their building construction permits will be issued. We've already submitted their construction plans ahead of time so that they would be ready once the plats were approved. They will be issued their permits. We are in discussions with them regarding doing a shovel-ready project for us, and I believe they will let us know once they start, Refuel will start clearing land. They will award their contract, then they will give us a date to do that. Pizza Hut would like to, also has been in conversations with them. They would like to do something in September. Aside from a ribbon cutting, they've suggested that perhaps we do free food, games, and things like that, and make it, since they are one of the second, Pearsall is one of the second communities to do this new concept that they're designing, so they would like to do it all. We do have, under residential development, the city issued a housing workforce RFP. If there's any questions with that, Mr. Reyes will address that. We also currently have a housing developer that's looking to do some housing development. We're in the platting stages right now, so we're looking at about maybe 20 units in that area that will be coming forward to you all as far as the plats. We do have perhaps another 2 potential commercial development projects in the works that we are currently meeting with them. So, we're looking at 5 or 7 development projects within this past year. Let's see if I have anything else. Facility updates with current permits. The Dr. Garza Clinic, which is the former HEB building. The construction is ongoing. They're pretty close to finalizing and issuing the certificate of occupancy for them. We're also working with them to do a ribbon cutting as well. The Dr. Sanchez building on 101 North Oak, construction is continuing and ongoing, and we are continuing to inspect their work. The future development, we have the Camino Real project that has been ongoing. That's pretty close to also being completed. We have the Greenwald subdivision. That's a replat of a 1.5 acre tract of land, and that's about 6 lots that currently occupy a building structure on it. And then we're working closely with potential developers, both in housing and commercial development. The Victor Trevino Sports Complex Master Plan, do we want to cover this now, sir, or I can't remember?
We could probably discuss it as part of the agenda item if that's good.
Pearsall Public Library, I'm just going to throw out some statistics really quick for June. We have seen an increase in the number of patrons that we are serving. We had 294 patrons come in to use our computer stations. We probably could have more, but some of our, computer stations are down. They're probably about 10 years old since we've replaced the computers, so keep that in mind during our budget cycle. We currently have served over 3,000 patrons that have come into the library. That's a big increase. Of course, summer is always our busiest. If you will note that the library, we have stepped up on the number and the types of summer recreational activity programs. You'll see that on Facebook, on our website, and then also on the library's website, all the different types of summer recreational programs that we're offering. The breakdown for that number of the 3,000 is there was about 1,000 walk-ins for the month of June. And we also have issued about 42 new library cards, which is also an increase. And we've also increased the collection of revenue as well. I don't have a report for parks. Our park superintendent, Mr. Olvera, was out on vacation, so we don't have a report for that. As far as our building and codes, for the month of June, you'll see the revenue did decrease a lot for the building permits. That's attributed to most of that revenue was coming in when we had that hailstorm and we were doing roofing permits. That's has now kind of slowed down, but we are going out there and doing code enforcement on those that are doing roofing without a permit, so we're beefing up the code enforcement. But we have also had our code enforcement officer out in training in June for the month of July, and then we also had our building code enforcement officer out for training. So that is also attributed to some of the numbers and decline of the revenue. I'm open to any questions.
Council, you have any questions for Assistant City
Thank you.
Manager? I just wanted to state, I've got an opportunity to spend some time with Yolanda, and, you know, she does wear many hats. And if you guys do look at that line item for building permits, our revenues have generated substantially more than we budgeted. We're having some things done and reviewed that just haven't been done before. And code enforcement is doing a great job in that regard. And it's not a money maker, but it's one of the things that helps keep our city following the codes and working on trying to beautify it, sort of things. And so the many hats, as in, you brought a question up last week about grants. I had the privilege of sitting with about a 2-hour meeting with the assistant manager and the assistant city manager on the grant-related item. And as I stated, the regulation required for that is crazy, and they're meeting it. And so we will get these things to you and get them done, but very grateful to have her on our staff and provide some redundancy, you know, which is much needed. So with that, anything else?
No, I just appreciate the council and the mayor for giving me this opportunity. And again, our mission and our objective is to keep the public's health and safety and welfare in our enforcing our building codes and zoning and of course code enforcement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council, we do, it is the review of our municipal judge, so you can choose to have him bring the reports here, or you can also, he's gonna be in executive session, so.
Bring it back up.
Is that all right with you? Judge, are you okay with that? We'll just go over those reports and we go, so there won't be any redundancy there. With that, it is 6:35. We are now in open public hearing. Item 6B, on the request of a land use variance special condition permit for Carlos and Leona Carone to allow for the variance to the minimum side setbacks for the extension of an addition to their existing home located at 111 North Mulberry, Pearsall, Texas. The property's legal description being Lot A, Block 4A. The property is currently zoned R1, single family residential. The zoning requirement requires the side setbacks to be a minimum of 15 feet, and the applicant is asking for a 4-foot variance. This is tied to item 9F, will be later on our agenda. We are in public session. Is there anyone here that would like to make a statement regarding it? This would be a time to make a statement probably against it. You're for it?
No, I'm for it.
Yes, okay. Is there anybody that would like to make a statement regarding the variance on property address 111? One more time, anybody willing to make a statement on property located at 111 North Mulberry? Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Madam Secretary, it is 6:37. With that, we'll go on to additional items, and you'll be up here in just a little bit. All right, City Council, we're going on to item A. This is consent agenda. These 2 minutes have been in your package. If you've got questions, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to move on. We'll take a motion by Councilwoman R. Garza, second by Councilwoman A. Garza. Is there any questions? Having none, call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously. We've already done item 8A, presentation of officers. Now we're going on to item 8B. This is a presentation regarding the financial and construction timeline of Business 35 and wastewater project and other related matters. Mr. Fred Reyes, you have the floor.
Mayor, council, this is gonna be a little tricky, but we're gonna try to get it done. We're having some issues getting, Robert Pigadina, who's our financial advisor, online. If you look at your packet on page 133, you'll see a timeline there. And then I have Stacy Barner here with CDM Smith. She's here to, I think she gave you all a handout regarding, the project we're talking about, which is the Business 35 extension, the water and wastewater line. But I'm gonna try to get Robert on the line, and let me see if I can do this and see if I can do things at one time. Stacy, do you wanna, I guess, let me see if I can get Robert on here real quick. You can't get him on, right, Crystal?
No, sir, it's not letting me connect.
I may not be that, but y'all may not be that.
Council, Stacy needs no introduction. She is working with us exclusively every tenured amount of time now on the project, both for water and wastewater going up to Business 35. Stacy, anything you want to kick us off with?
Sure. Well, one, I'm happy to be here, so thank you, council, and I'm there to come up and give you an update on the project. As y'all know, we've been working on this project quite a while now, for the water line and the wastewater line to design the project, almost 1.5 to 2 years now. Unfortunately, Wendy can't be here today. Wendy normally is in Houston and is stuck trying to get back from Oregon to Houston because of the hurricane, and is hopefully on a plane at this point. So you just get me tonight. You can go ahead, next slide, please. So this is just an update on the project itself. We do have 100% design complete for both the water side and the wastewater side. We are still, there's utility coordination ongoing for the project. Most of the providers we've worked with, favorably, everyone is on board as far as Spectrum and Valley Telephone, West Texas Gas, AT&T, LaSalle Pipeline, and we're still working on a couple of others. The electrical ones have been a little bit slower, the energy, so that is still ongoing as far as coordination with them. We're also still negotiating with the property owners for the lift stations. And as I'll talk about in a minute here, there's actually part of the project's getting bifurcated on the wastewater side. So the lift stations will actually be like a second phase, maybe like a phase 1 and a phase 2. So we do have some time to still handle that coordination. Tech stop coordination, there's letters of no objection that are needed in order to do like the driveway crossings for the pipeline. And as of right now, we've got 20 LONOs, is what they're called, signed by either the residents or businesses that we're crossing. There's 32 of them that are still outstanding. And I know, I believe Hector's been working on those, and will continue to work on those once he's back from vacation. So the tech stop permit, we've been coordinating with, and they're in the last stage of review to approve that. So. And then last on here is just that the engineering services that we would assist with providing during the construction phase would fall under the new master services agreement that was discussed, I believe, last month. So that will be upcoming in the next month or two. This is just a slight refresher on exactly what the project looks like. So you can see here you've got water line in the blue, the wastewater line basically with gravity sewer in red, and then the force main in green, just a small segment there. There's 2 lift stations. The one is right, you can see where the arrow is, just south of where the green is by JoJo's RV Park. And then the other one is closer to Sutton Road. Okay, we got this slide. So So, when talking about the funding, there's water funding and wastewater funding. So the drinking water funding, we applied basically for both fundings from the Texas Water Development Board. The drinking water funding, they'd invited the city, basically back, I think, a few months ago now, and we submitted a full application, and they will take that to the Water Development Board's next board meeting, which is August 15th, I believe, for approval. So that one, we're all set to go. It'll be a 6.295